If you walk into almost any home with a cat, chances are you'll meet one that looks familiar. Brown stripes, soft swirls, that classic little M sitting proudly on the forehead. At first glance, tabby cats seem ordinary. In fact, they're so common that many people assume they're just the default cat, nothing rare, nothing particularly special. But here's the truth most cat lovers don't realize. Tabby cats aren't ordinary at all. Behind those stripes is a story of ancient genetics, wild ancestry, hidden markings, and traits that connect your cozy house companion to the earliest cats that ever walked beside humans. Once you understand what really makes a tabby, you'll never look at one the same way again. And by the end of this video, you might even realize the cat curled up next to you right now is far more unique than you ever imagined. Not a breed, a secret pattern. One of the biggest surprises for many cat owners is this: tabby isn't actually a breed. There's no single tabby species. Instead, tabby refers to a coat pattern, a genetic design that can appear in many different breeds. That means a tiny, delicate cat and a huge, fluffy giant could both be tabbies. Short-haired, long-haired, sleek or thick-coated, all of them can share that signature striped look. It's like nature stamped a pattern across different cat families, leaving its mark in many forms. So what actually makes a tabby a tabby? The answer lies deeper than just stripes. The hidden gene almost every cat carries. Here's something fascinating. Almost every domestic cat carries the genetic blueprint for tabby markings. Yes, even cats that look completely solid-colored. Inside their DNA is a switch that controls whether those patterns appear clearly or stay hidden. Sometimes the markings are bold and obvious. Other times they're faint, visible only in certain lighting, like soft stripes appearing when sunlight hits their fur. You may have seen a black cat stretch in the sun, and suddenly ghostly lines appear along its body. That's the tabby pattern quietly revealing itself. It's a reminder that the tabby design isn't rare, it's ancient. It's one of the original coat patterns cats evolved with long before they lived in our homes. The orange cat mystery. If you've ever met an orange cat, you might have noticed something. They almost always have stripes. That's because orange cats are never truly solid in color. The genetics behind their fur automatically include tabby patterning, even if it's subtle. Look closely and you'll usually spot rings on the tail, faint lines on the body, or that unmistakable forehead marking. And here's another fun twist. Most orange cats are male. This happens because the gene responsible for orange coloring is linked to the X chromosome, which also influences gender. Without diving too deep into science class, it simply means male cats need only one copy of that gene to become orange, while females usually need two. So, when you see a ginger tabby lounging in the sun, you're looking at a perfect mix of genetics, history, and coincidence, all wrapped up into one furry personality. 4 patterns, 1 ancient design. Not all tabbies wear their stripes the same way. In fact, there are 4 main pattern styles, and each one gives a completely different visual impression. Some tabbies carry bold, swirling shapes across their sides, almost like marble artwork painted onto fur. These cats often look dramatic and eye-catching, their patterns forming loops and targets that stand out even from across the room. Others display narrow stripes running down their bodies, neat and parallel, like the ribs of a fish skeleton. Then there are the spotted ones. Instead of stripes, their coats break into dots or small markings, giving them a miniature wildcat appearance. Some look so exotic that people mistake them for rare breeds. And finally, there are the subtle tabbies whose fur appears almost solid from afar. Up close, though, each hair carries bands of color, creating a shimmering effect that seems to change in the light. 4 patterns, 1 ancient design, endless variations. The famous M marking on the forehead. If there's one symbol that truly defines a tabby, it's that mysterious letter M. Right above the eyes, the fur naturally forms this shape, clear on some cats, softer on others, but almost always present. For centuries, people have told stories about how this marking came to be. Some legends say it represents ancient reverence, linking cats to sacred roles in early civilizations. Others tell gentle tales of kindness and gratitude, imagining the marking as a blessing given to a comforting cat long ago. Whether you believe folklore or simply genetics, the M has become a universal signature, a tiny badge that instantly identifies a tabby anywhere in the world. It's almost like nature gave them their own logo. A glimpse of the wild past. There's another reason tabbies feel so special. Look at one carefully, the stripes, the posture, the alert eyes, and you might notice something familiar. They resemble wild cats. That's no accident. Domestic cats share ancestry with wild desert cats that relied on patterned coats to survive. Those stripes and spots weren't just decorative, they were camouflage, helping cats blend into grass, shadows, and rocky landscapes while hunting or hiding. When you watch your tabby crouch low before pouncing on a toy, you're seeing the echo of those ancient instincts. The same patterns that once hid them from predators now decorate the pets curled on our sofas. It's like having a tiny piece of the wild living peacefully in your home. Masters of disappearing. Have you ever noticed how easily a tabby can vanish? One moment they're right there, the next they've blended perfectly into a blanket, rug, or patch of sunlight on the floor. Their patterned coats break up their outline, making them surprisingly good at hiding, even indoors. Long ago, this ability meant survival. Today, it mostly means you'll spend 5 minutes calling your cat's name before realizing they've been quietly watching you the whole time. Tabbies may look cozy and harmless, but their design still carries the tools of a natural hunter. Where the name tabby comes from. Even the word tabby has an interesting story. It traces back hundreds of years to a type of patterned silk once traded through the Middle East. The fabric's wavy, striped designs reminded people of certain cats' coats, and gradually the name transferred from cloth to cats themselves. Over time, the word traveled through languages and cultures until it became the familiar term we use today. So every time you call your pet a tabby, you're actually referencing a piece of history woven into their name. More than just common. Because tabbies are so widespread, they're often overlooked, but maybe that's part of what makes them special. They're not rare museum pieces or exotic show animals. They're the cats who've shared human homes for thousands of years, adaptable, resilient, and endlessly varied. They're the kitten at the shelter who becomes someone's best friend, the childhood pet who greets you at the door, the quiet companion who curls up beside you after a long day. Their patterns may be ancient, but their role in our lives is deeply personal. So, the next time you see a tabby cat, whether it's your own, a neighbor's, or one lazily sunbathing on a windowsill, take a closer look. Notice the markings, the history in their coat, the wild ancestry hidden beneath that calm, purring exterior. What seems ordinary is actually the result of thousands of years of evolution, genetics, and companionship with humans. And maybe that's the real secret. Tabby cats aren't special because they're rare. They're special because they're everywhere, quietly carrying one of the oldest and most beautiful designs in the feline world. If you have a tabby at home, tell us about them in the comments. What's their personality like? Do they act like a tiny tiger or a total cuddle expert? And if you enjoyed discovering these secrets, don't forget to subscribe for more stories, tips, and fascinating facts about the cats we love. We'll see you in the next video.